Hello.
Hey,
Hey, good morning.
Emacs. Let's wait a minute more, then we can start. Okay, so let's start with the 5G updates. Do we have Diljit on the call? Okay, let's wait for him. Yogesh, do you know if Diljit is joining us?
Yes, Shubham, give me a second. I'll just check with him. He was supposed to join. Otherwise, no, I can also do it. Yeah, but just give me a minute.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think he's in some wrong meeting. Yeah, I'll just correct him.
Oh, Daljit, you are here. So let's start with the 5G updates.
Hi, Shubham. Actually, I went in the wrong meeting. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Let's start.
Shubham, are you waiting for me to start?
Yes, you like
Okay.
5G updates are first in our agenda.
Okay. I'll share my screen. So I'll cover 5G SA status of the feature we are working on. Plus, we'll talk somewhat on the 1.8 status as well. So
Okay.
1.8 features still the list is same. We are at same level. We have 3 features already, and then the bunch of feature we are testing internally. But the branch was there was stability issue with the master, right? So which is unblocked now. So we are moving on, completing the testing of pending features. This is hardening of regression testing. We continue rerunning. With the QA testing, we fix a series of issues here with Zen have task closed 3 of them. The first one issue is related to the scale testing. We are trying the high performance scale. We are finding registration retry. The issue is fixed, and another one related to combination of DNS validation. The issue is fixed as well. And there's an issue related to resync procedure without failure. There are 4 peers got merged. They're not. They're like low risk small peers, but they were issues. They got resolved. One is related to the auth response processing by AMF is this is tied up with the timer to identify if the request is already in progress, and fix the syncing issue with the max bit rate and the tied up with the quality of service. And the next one is service reject for invalid session ID. So there's some code changes has been done to identify the existing session ID. And the last one is handling IMSI deconcealing related to the decrypting of encrypted IMSI. There were issues, so those errors were happening. Those issues were fixed. This is the status of the feature which are still under testing. The network initial session modification of 5G QoS, there was 1 peer. And the Skyline testing we have done, it looks good. Sanity looks good. And this is the one we are almost ready to merge, and likely will merge this week or maybe early next week. IPv6, dual IPv6 port. There was one internal issue with the WaveLab testing issue, which we are working on. And this almost done. PR is raised, comments are addressed, and will be merged very much soon. GTP extension support. This is one of the major changes also. This involves a lot of changes. We were holding on to this because of the stability in the master, and now is good. And we have tried the Docker image, and this so Jugesh is coordinating with DevOps team to create the OBS image, and there's a PR raised, and after the PRs, this will be merged as well. Regression testing, scale testing, generic, we are finding issues and fixing them and merging them as we talked before. These are a few points from the 1.8 5G SA features and release status. As we discussed, master build package related issues are resolved. The testing is continued. Now actually the Wavelab 5G CA test cases are executing. So we're looking at the report that around 90 test cases passed and 5 test cases failed. This is where Wavelab team is working continually on to address those issues. And the next one is 2 blocking P as we discussed, right? One is ready for merge, one is almost there also. We have that is tied up with next point. Containerized AGW test with OVS changes, and it is tied up with uploading the dev packages, right? Which was always manual, but I think there was some less visibility on it, and now we are creating a PR with some documentation. So that and that will address. And the generic documentation related to release notes and all the documentation, we have started the merging the PRs, and it's progressing. So it's in good state right now. This is actually the status of the team in discussing 1.8 status a weekly basis, and there are multiple primes from various community companies involved in there. And the Magma CA stability is, this looks like it's very good, getting almost there. 5G status we discuss. ARM Docker job, I think their primes available for any discussion. Status of peers, 2 peers we talk, they're very much getting close to be merged. Next week we will have good progress on cleaning up these. Containerized AGW, I think this was the manual part, which Jigesh is kind of helping and documenting it through a PR. Hosting Docker image, Magma, Artifactory through CA build job. This, I think, it's more a question. I think next couple of items just queries, and they have in detail discussed already in the meeting. And I think last, this is security issue with the AMI and AGW deployment filling in the, I think it's tied up with the production package. So those items, there's some of this coming from previous versions as well. I think this we can, in next meeting, most likely we can close on this and see if they are really a blocker for creating the branch or not. We can make a call on this. Documentation we discussed, I think of these criteria, there was a lot of detailed discussion in the 1.8 meeting. So this is the questions on the quality of service testing and all various aspects of the testing. I think that's part of ongoing discussion. This is very much I have for the 5G status. Any questions?
These updates include 5G status and release updates also. So any questions regarding these topics, please ask.
Alrighty, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would just be interested, since now can we now start scheduling a plan for the release again, since the CI is unblocked, or not sure if we should go, yeah, what the status on that?
Yeah, Max. So what I would say is my suggestion from my side is once this OVS PR gets merged, then a day or two of testing, and then we can plan for it for cutting the branch. Is it fine?
Yeah, it's just wanted to understand if we are now again able to have a timeline, or if we are still not
Yes. Yeah, I think I think once these blockers are merged, and then we can come up with the timelines, Max. That's absolutely fine. I think we can discuss in our next 1.8 call. Hopefully by this time that OVS PRs will be merged.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So moving on to the DevOps update, starting with camera.
Yeah, hi everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll share my screen then. Yeah, so I'm coming from TNG, and I'm going to be talking about a bit of work that TNG has been doing over the last week or two about a couple of different CI topics. So first of all, the carrier Wi-Fi, and then I'll move on to the federated integration test. So just to begin, there are these carrier Wi-Fi integration tests, which you can read about here. And if you look at the CI dashboard, they have been failing for, or they've been flaky for some time. And so we've looked into this, and we created a pull request where we modified several of these integration tests, usually by doing a few different things, but for example, by tweaking the amount of traffic that's being generated in a particular test. And this was merged yesterday. And since then, the CI status has been improved, so it's less flaky now. There is still one test that appears to be flaky, but we're looking into this, so hopefully we can get this stable soon. And then the second topic is about the S1 AP federated integration test. So this is a single attached test that uses the access gateway, the orchestrator, and also the federated gateway. So it's sort of an end-to-end test. And previously, if you wanted to run this, then you had to follow some steps here to do it locally. But I should say that this is not, I'm speaking about this on behalf of Christian, who is on holiday now. But there was a pull request by Oriel, which Christian helped out with, which has added this integration test to the CI. And so now if you go to actions and then go to integ test, you can see that it's running on master. And there were a few teething problems initially with it, with getting it working in the CI, but it's getting more stable. So we're monitoring this, and hopefully we can again reach stability with this in the CI too. It's not yet in the CI dashboard, but I think there are plans to add it there. Yeah, so those are my updates about these particular CI aspects. If there are any questions.
If not, then we can continue with Niels. Do you have any updates?
Hello, everybody. I will quickly share my screen. I prepared some high-polished slides, and I just want to quickly summarize the issues there that we had with the AGW build. This was inflicting the 5G test from Wavelabs because damaged Magma Debian packages were created. Why am I talking about a bug in the engineering meeting? During debugging this problem together with Sebastian Thomas, we figured out that there are a couple of issues with this process, and we have some ideas for refactorings. And by presenting this issue, we hope for some feedback so we can continue with the refactoring that we planned. So I think everybody knows, I think 1.5 months ago, we had a switch from the Facebook Artifactory to the Magma Artifactory. Before, from the Facebook Artifactory, when the Magma Debian package was created, a pip3 version of protobuf was installed already, 3.17. And in the job itself, Python 3 protobuf 3.14, so a lower version was installed from the Facebook Artifactory. This overrides 3.17. Python protobuf 3.19 was created but not used and uploaded to the Magma Artifactory. So at the end, with 3.14, the Python protobuf files were created, and this works. After the switch, still 3.17 was installed in the beginning, but now Python protobuf 3.19 was installed from the Magma Artifactory. Here's the switch, and this again overrides 3.17, and now creating the Python protobuf files failed because there's a bug in 3.19. So the first fix was to upgrade to protobuf 3.20. Again, 3.17 installed at the beginning, 3.20 is installed from the Magma Artifactory, 3.17 is overwritten. Again, the creation of the Python protobuf file failed, this time because installing an APT version of protobuf 3.20 on top of the pip installed protobuf version 3.17 just had some clashes, and the creation failed again. So the current solution is removing all installed pip packages before they are installed by APT. Yeah. So this is the quick summary. The process might seem a little unstable, and so we think it's a good idea to refactor this, not before the release, because currently it's working. But at least afterwards, it might be a good idea to have a more detailed look and check if the process creating the Magma Debian package can be improved. That's it from my side. Are there any questions or feedback? If not, feel free to also approach us in Slack if you have any ideas or hints how this process can be improved. And I think the next topic then is Sebastian, right?
Yeah, so I can start. So while I was working on the Access Gateway AMI build, I discovered that somehow the deployment was failing, and I discovered that, okay, in official build, it's also failing. So I posted the message on Slack community channels, and from Sebastian actually figured it out. Okay, this is the new Ansible version that's making this issue, and he actually did a PR for the fix. Once this is merged, then yeah, we can continue with the AMI build. I'm currently testing those changes locally and see, okay, if the process is back to normal or not. Once that is back to normal, we have to do two more things, is to backport the change to the previous 1.6 and 1.7 branches. So previous branches failure are also resolved. Yeah, and from the we are also working on the AMI side and new Artifactory side. Tim is also looking into that. Yeah, that will be out with the next release, the ARM Docker build for HW. Okay, so any questions? Okay, so we have covered the release updates. Next, we can move on to the NMS updates from Thomas.
Yes, hi everybody. I mentioned a few weeks ago that we are going to migrate the NMS to TypeScript, and this migration is now almost complete. So I think we will merge this to master before the next biweekly meeting. So we are still sort of finishing up the last bits, and then we'll do a little bit of manual regression testing. I will also announce that in the dev channel again. So after that point, you will have to write TypeScript if you want to add something to the NMS, and we will drop flow support. That's all from my side. Any questions? Then if not, the next one is, I think, Marco.
Yeah.
Hey, hello guys. I just want to give you a quick update what we've been doing on the HW, and I will share my screen. So basically what we did, we replaced the nose package for the Python tests with the PyTest package. The reason for that is that the nose package is no longer maintained and will not support any further versions of Python. So if we will upgrade the virtual machines at some point, the Python tests will no longer work. And we did this in 3 PRs. The first one has already been merged for the unit tests, and the LTE integration tests are yet to be reviewed. And after that, the nose package is dropped completely. I have here an example of it. So this is a picture of the LTE integration, the LTE unit tests. So we have 438 tests. This is the new interface of PyTest. So these are the files that contain tests, and the green dots indicate a passed test, and the yellow S here is a skipped test. What's quite nice about PyTest in contrast to the nose package is that we see here warnings. Most of them are deprecation warnings that we will have to take care in the future. And in the end, we have a lot of the tests passed, some skipped, and the warnings I just talked about, which we will address in the future. There are already 2 PRs that address some of these warnings. These are the main 2 causes of the rest of the warnings, and some versions of external packages are also causing some warnings, and some of them may be changed in the future. And yeah, that was it from from our side. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so we still have some time left. If anyone would like to bring any topic, feel free to bring it up. Okay, if not, then okay, that's it. Thank you for the day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.